literally just waiting for the music to finish. Sorry. And there we are. Hello. Why does my nose look like it's on weird? Wait. Wait. Oh, God. Wait, why is my nose not on at all? Wait. Wait. Okay, give me a sec. Oh my God. What the fuck? What? Why? Motherfuckers. I need a second. I'm sorry. My fucking clown nose. My clown nose is not giving clown nose right now. Or it's giving too much clown. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, the nose isn't nosing, guys. The nose is not nosing. I'm trying to fix it. Stuff. Oh my fuck. I swear I was prepared. Yeah, I swear low-key I was prepared. Motherfuckers. I don't know. Whatever. My nose is just gonna be weird tonight, chat. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not fucking pinning to my model. Oh no. I don't. Hello? We're just gonna have to deal with it. It's fine. I'm not gonna keep you guys on this screen for fucking ever. Just because of my stupid nose. Low-key, I want to, but I won't. You're just gonna have to deal with a weird nose. Yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's fine. It's fine, but hello, chat. Happy May the 4th be with you. Yeah, do you guys see my nose is like not staying on my nose? Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know. It's never like this. I don't know why it's so cursed today. It just decided to not behave. Maybe we just nose off. Maybe we just nose off for the day. What do you guys think? Is it weird if I nose off? Here, let me nose off. Let me nose off. Is this weird? Is this a little weird? What do you guys think? Is this a little strange? To be looking at me with no nose. I feel like it's so weird to me. Like, it feels so weird to me. But I guess until I fix it, we're just nose off. Nose off. No funny business today. Gotta take this seriously. Gotta be serious. Yeah. Star Wars is serious business. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? Yeah, Star Wars serious business. Serious business. I just feel like it looks so weird. I feel like I'm so lost without my nose, but I put the nose on and it doesn't want to stay for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I don't know why it's not staying. And low key, that's like way more cursed. Way more cursed. I don't know. Maybe I leave it. Maybe. Mm. No, now we're taking it off. Yeah, no, it's free today. But I've got a bunch of Star Wars content queued up for us. Sai, welcome to the membership. Enjoy your emotes. There's not very many of them, but as we get more memberships, there will be more emotes. Yeah. Yeah, as we get more memberships, there will be more emotes because it's like that's how YouTube like locks them or whatever. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm like for real right now. I'm so dead ass. I'm so dead ass. But we have a bunch of like hee hee ha ha stuff to watch today and also some like interesting stuff. So okay, actually let me get close to you guys again and talk to you. So for anybody who hasn't been around for like me talking about my parents are gigantic nerds. My parents are like huge fucking nerds. My parents are like yeah, my parents are just like massive nerds. So, things that I was like allowed to get into or things that I was like encouraged to get into when I was younger were things like Star Wars. So we actually like just this weekend finished watching all of the new Disney Plus Darth Maul series. And honestly, it was pretty good. They did like a really good job of like humanizing him, and also they left it in a way that I think is going to tell like a really interesting story, which is really cool. But yeah, like growing up, I watched Rebels, I watched Clone Wars, I've seen all of the movies. I wouldn't say that it's like my favorite thing of all time, but my parents are super into it. And it's not like I don't like it, you know? Like, yeah, it's not like I don't like it. I don't like it as much as they like it. My mama clown, my mother has a, Star Wars tattoo, actually. Yeah, Mama Clown is like I've talked about it before, but she's like a tatted baddie. Like, Mama Clown is, she throws some looks, you know? So she's got one of her, like, many tattoos is, uh is a Star Wars tattoo. Yeah, she's got let me see if I can remember. So she's got a lot of fucking tattoos. She's got some, like, flowers, and then she's got a, Star Wars Rebels tattoo. She's got a bunch of anime tattoos. I'm trying to remember specifically what she has. Oh my gosh. She has what does she have? She has a tattoo from Fate. She has a yeah, my parents watched them with me too. Yeah, she has a tattoo from Fate. She has a tattoo from Naruto. She has a tattoo from oh god, what was that called? I don't think I watched it, but the, like, pretty wolf guy from, like, an old anime. He's like a white wolf guy. Surely somebody has to know what I'm talking about. He's super pretty. He's got, like, really long white hair, and he has, like, a fur coat thing. Um, fuck. Yeah, I don't remember, but my mom just has a lot of tattoos. She also has a tattoo from She-Ra. Yeah, she has a She-Ra tattoo. Mama Clown is cool. Yeah, Mama Clown's cool. I'm, like, super close to my parents, like, even before Baby Clown, um, I was super close to my parents. So yes, thank you. Yeah, no, it's not Inuyasha, it's the other guy. 'Cause isn't Inuyasha the one with, like he's like the other one. Yeah, he the I think it's like Inuyasha's older brother. I don't remember his name, but she has a tattoo of him on her thigh. Yeah, I don't remember. Fuck. But yeah, no, Mama Clown is like batty, like stereotypical millennial goth girl batty. Um, yes, thank you, Sai. I could not remember his name. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I have not watched it, but, like, I know of it, like, if that makes sense. I've never seen it, but, like, I know about it because of my parents type shit, you know? But, we have a really funny Star Wars video to watch first. Yeah, we have well, I don't know if it's funny, I'm hoping it's gonna be funny because it has a funny hee hee ha ha name. Yeah, nose off for today because my nose it won't fucking stay in place, and I don't know why. I don't I don't know why. So no nose. Yeah, no nose. 8 times, holy shit. Yeah, no, growing up, yeah, no, growing up, my parents and I watched, Clone Wars and Rebels. Yeah. And we watched all of, like, the new stuff since then. Yeah. So, like, The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and, like, like everything, basically. We've seen everything. It's really something that, like, they are more into than, like, me, but, like, it's not that I'm, like, not into it, I'm just not, like, I guess, as hardcore as them, if that makes sense. Yeah, like yeah. Anyways, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Master of Trolling, so I'm hoping it's hee hee ha ha. I'm hoping it's hee hee ha ha.
You must be the infamous General Kenobi.
I surrender.
I mean, pause, real so, like, yes, casual fan, but also, like, casual fan who, because of her relationship to, like, hardcore fans, has had to watch all of the content. So, like, whatever that's called. Whatever that's called, yeah. Like, literally everything.
Now, Master Kenobi, order your troops to stand down.
General, have a seat.
Have you gone mad?
I've conceded the battle. Now we simply have to negotiate the terms of surrender.
Don't try any of your tricks, Jedi.
Surely there's no reason we can't be civilized about this. You're a legend throughout the inner core.
Yeah, nose is
Thank
not
you.
loading
The
today.
honor is all mine. I'm so glad you decided to surrender.
Well, at some point,
Oh,
one
yeah,
must
no, this is
accept the reality of the
classic.
situation. Might we have some refreshments? And of course, once you've taken custody of my troops, arrangements will need to be made for their food and shelter. Tell me, do you have enough supplies to—
Enough of this! You are stalling.
Nonsense. General, there are numerous details to be discussed. Don't worry, Anakin. Just teach her everything I taught you, and she'll turn out fine.
You know,
Something makes me think this was your idea from the start.
He's talking about
Master
Ahsoka.
Kenobi, always chasing after Skywalker.
Oh my gosh, Ventress. Okay. This is a hear me out moment. This is a hear me out moment. I'm not gay. I'm not even bi. But I would let Ventress hit. I would let Ventress hit. And I'm like fairly convinced that she's gonna be in some kind of like more in Star Wars, like in upcoming stuff. She totally could be. Like she is not confirmed dead. She's not confirmed dead. But yeah, that's like a hear me out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like the bald head or the makeup, but I would let her hit. Yeah, no, I would let her hit.
Predictable.
Anakin leaves quite a mess, which always leads me to you, Ventress.
She was also just really cool.
You'll have to do better than that, my darling.
Anything with General Grievous is kind of low-key funny sometimes.
Hello there.
Did you really think I could leave the hyperdrive unguarded?
Anything is possible. You haven't exactly impressed me today.
He's so fucking sassy. I love Obi-Wan.
That was impressive.
He did say the thing. Say your stupid line, Superman.
Oh, it's you.
This is how you thank me for rescuing you? Pounce on me from the ceiling?
Kinda difficult without a lightsaber. Thanks.
Did you manage to locate Dooku before landing in jail?
Well, I know he's on board. I might have been able to do something about it if I'd had my weapon.
It was important for you to arrive without it, so your capture would be
Okay.
convincing.
Low key though. Low key the witches were like crazy powerful though. Yeah, in Clone Wars, like low key the witches, the sisters, pretty powerful. Like, I would not want to fuck with them. You know, I mean, well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Oh, they were convinced, all right. But how come I'm the one getting caught all the time? It doesn't look good.
When you're a Jedi Master, you can make the plan.
That's just it. How can I become a Jedi Master if I'm always getting caught?
At least you're a master
Yeah.
at getting caught.
Very funny.
For all your expertise, this is not a very smooth landing.
Yeah, no, Deadass
I've
Obi-Wan
had
was like
better landings.
always
happy
just
landing.
like saying the shit we were all thinking. He like doesn't have like inside thoughts, you know?
Anakin, when I tell you to run, run.
Master, you're alive.
And where's your lightsaber?
It got knocked out of my hand.
By a rock?
Yeah, by a rock. It's gotta be here somewhere.
That is a feeble excuse.
Oh shit. Actually, I need a second. Why is YouTube saying my stream might be blocked? Wait a second. Wait a second. Can I? Oh fuck. Can I not stream Star Wars shit because of Disney? Oh no. Oh no. Oh shit. Okay, chat. We're gonna I don't want to be like a Thanos snapped. Um Give me a second to figure out. Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. Maybe it's just like scenes like this. I have other content. I have other content. We're gonna switch content. Oh shit. Yeah, I have a warning. How do I make the warning go away? Oh no. That's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy. That was so fast. That was so fast. Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. We're gonna just move on to this totally arbitrary rating of all of the best Jedi masters from worst to best. Totally, totally, completely gonna be an arbitrary rating that we're all going to. Oh, oopsies. Wait, what's happening? Yeah, no, we're all gonna agree on this and it'll be great. Yeah, we're all gonna agree on this. It'll be great. Right? Totally, totally gonna agree on this. Yeah, no, definitely better than like actually just getting banned. For real. Like that would have been like ass. So I wonder if they're like ranking them on the basis of strength. Like that's or if it's like ranking them. Yeah, I'm not sure. Cause like, okay. So like Loki. Okay, let's put some predictions on this shit, okay? Without a doubt, like with zero hesitation, Yoda is the strongest Jedi Master. Like that dude lived for fucking ever. Like I think we can all be in agreement on that. Um the question is like after that is it like the like next few I feel like could be low key like I don't know, could be like so like it's hard because like think about it like this way. Like so like okay, so like good things about like each. I think there's like a top 3 or 4. So like Yoda like lived for fucking ever, went toe to toe with Palpatine, like made Dooku flee, like I feel like he had really good, like, force powers, and then, like so I feel like he's, like, probably, like, top, right? And then, like, after him, it's hard because, like, I don't think that we can count so, like, it's hard because, like, I don't think that, like, Anakin was while he was Anakin and not, like, while he was Vader. No, no, I'm fine now. Yeah, no, I'm fine now. They're not copy striking me now that I've moved off of the other video. Um, yeah, I feel like oh, before Disney. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking more, like, modern for, like, what we've seen in media and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get in trouble. They already removed it. Yeah, I'm good. So like after Yoda, I mean like so other really strong Jedi that pop into mind are obviously like Luke, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu. I don't know if Qui-Gon is. I don't think Qui-Gon is like at that same level. Um, Anakin maybe, like maybe. But again, like I don't think that like Anakin could be like on his own before he was Vader. I don't think he like counts. But like if you think about like the other top guys, like Mace Windu was like a known like duelist, right? Like he was second on the council. So like I know that he was strong, but we didn't get to see like a ton of him like across different media comparative to like the other like top guys. You know, like if that makes sense. Yeah, like yeah, that's kind of like what I think about. And then obviously like Luke is like Luke gets the benefit of being like the protagonist of the like original movies. So, and on top of that, but spoiler alert, he's Anakin's son. But like he also has just like some of the best scenes in like the Star Wars movies and shows. Like God, even recently in like The Mandalorian with the hallway scene, although a lot of people have gotten really good hallway scenes. A lot of people have gotten really good hallway scenes. Well, not like a lot, but a few people. So it's just like it's hard. I don't even know if this person is going to be like talking about like best like strongest, but like I feel like I don't know. I feel like pretty close to each other in terms of strength. They're going to be like Yoda, Luke, Obi-Wan, and either Qui-Gon or Mace Windu. I feel like they are like all fairly close to each other, right? Like in my mind at least. In my mind at least. So like Jar Jar's a Sith Lord. That's quite the headcanon. Yeah, that's quite the headcanon, King. Anyways, let's find out what this person's even talking about because I don't even know if they're talking about like strength.
Masters are supposed to be the Order's best, but not all masters are created equally. I mean, Paul Krell was really strong, but he turned to the dark side and did all sorts of evil things just because he could. The same goes for the Seventh Sister. She was an Inquisitor after the fall of the Jedi Order until she decided to be an idiot and attacked
We're
Maul
going
and
through
Ezra
a
at the
lot
same
of
time.
people.
So of course,
Okay.
Maul destroyed her with ease. At least Dooku tried to be a good Jedi for a while. After all, he trained the legendary Qui-Gon
Okay, yeah,
Jinn
we're going through a
himself,
lot of
but as time
people.
went
Okay,
on,
sick.
he realized that the Jedi Order wasn't what it was supposed to be, so he left to join Darth Sidious. But just like the Seventh Sister,
Yeah,
Dooku died when Anakin executed him in Episode 3. Yeah,
And also like oh shit, I'm still in the way. Oopsies. Also like I don't think that we're gonna like count it if you got strong after you went to the dark side. Because this is supposed to be like Jedi Masters. And so it's like different. It's different. If you were like able to fall to the dark side, were you really that strong of a Jedi Master? Like low key?
yeah, turning to the
Type
dark
shit,
side
you know?
never ends well. But there's also some totally incompetent Jedi that had stupid deaths as well. I usually don't laugh at Star Wars movies, but every time I see Coleman Trevor jump into the scene, I get really excited because I know I'm about to see this moment of pure comedy when Jango Fett casually takes him down. You're supposed to be a council member. This is unacceptable. Press F for disrespect. By the way, I'm ranking every Jedi Master in Star Wars, similar to how I ranked Jedi in past videos. Anakin will just have to watch with the rest of us. The best masters have the qualities of the best Jedi. They're powerful, they're
Okay,
dedicated
yeah,
to the
he's
light side and
talking.
accomplish great things, and they stay alive while doing it all. But something that's especially important for Jedi Masters is who they trained. How many Padawans do they have? Did their apprentices go on to be
Okay,
great
so he's
Jedi,
like judging
or
them
were
on
they
like a bunch of
failures? What's
different
crazy is that
features.
based on that criteria, that would make Luke
Yeah, you can ask me a
Skywalker one of the
question.
worst Jedi Masters of all. With the way Disney wrote him, he was a complete failure that did everything wrong short of turning to the dark side. I mean, think about it. At the very beginning of his Jedi Knighthood, he defeats the Emperor and saves Vader. Surely he could only go up from there, right?
God,
Well, apparently
wait,
not.
let's
Luke is supposed
run
to
that back real
Knighthood, he
quick.
defeats the Emperor and saves Vader. Surely he could
It's like so sad that Anakin looks like this at the end. Yeah, it's like God, he went from like looking like he did, you know, like low-key kind of daddy to like Uncle Fester, low-key. Like yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, he's
could only go up from there,
bro.
right? Well, apparently not. Luke is supposed to be better than the Jedi before him. He's learned from their mistakes,
I
and the
do
goats of the
not
Jedi
like
Order
Redneck
trains him
Annie.
to live as a true Jedi following the Force should. So of course, that Luke Skywalker would go and copy the old Jedi Order, and then go completely insane and try to kill one of his Padawans. But the thing is, he's lost all concept of fighting skill, to the point where Ben Solo is capable of destroying the entire Jedi compound with no consequences. So Luke falls into a shame spiral and exiles himself, and can't be bothered to help the galaxy from the Empire 2.0.
Oh shit. Cat, we have the question. We have the question. Why did I name myself this? We have the question. Who wants to answer the question? Who wants to answer it? The answer is easy. I like hentai. That's the answer. That's the whole answer. Yeah. That's like that's it. Yeah, I wish there was like, I don't know, like a cooler answer. Sometimes, yeah, I named myself that because it's like cute and funny. It's cute, it's funny, and it gets people's attention. Although half the people who like see my name are like, oh, based hentai interests. And then like the other half of the people who see it are like, fuck, I wish that you were a femboy, or I wish that you were a trans girl. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm just a degen. Like, I'm just a gooner. I'm sorry that I'm just a gooner girl, okay? I I can't help it. I can't help it. That's all right. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. But yeah, I'm just a gooner. I'm sorry.
Until Rey tracks him down.
I'm not really
and
sorry.
basically just annoys him to death. Obviously, I can't take any of that seriously when making this list. I just had to rant because what they did to my boy Luke is outrageous and unfair.
Sadly-
We'll talk more about him later.
Sadly, no full package Finley. Any and all princess wands are unattached and pretty. They tend to come in like RGB. Yeah. With multiple settings. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that was also like part of it because I was like, okay, if they let me do this, if like YouTube and Twitch lets me do this, like how many people are going to be here for like the hee hee ha ha's with me? Like how many people are going to click just because of my name? So like I knew that I wanted to be a clownfish, and so I was like, okay, well, like Finley because fish, and then Uta because it's funny, like hee hee ha ha, you know? We like the hee hee ha ha's.
Similar to Coleman Trebor, Jedi Master
Yeah, we
Bolo
like the
Ropal
hee hee
died at the
ha's.
hands of another bounty hunter.
Normally I
Cad
have a
Bane, except
nose,
his
but my
death
nose
was
is all
much
fucked
more
up tonight.
humiliating since Bane was able to capture Ropal alive and bring him back to his ship to torture him. But I have to admit, Bolo Ropal was pretty heroic in not giving up the information in the holocron he was trying to protect. And honestly, I always try to rank Coleman Trebor as low as possible on any list I make. So there's that. At least Jedi Master Halsey went down.
Look, God knew that I would be too powerful if I was an IRL Futa. He knew I'd be too powerful, okay? He could not give me that power. He could not give me that power. So instead, I have to just be a fucking flat cutting board of a woman, okay? That's just how the world works.
Down against a good opponent, that being none other than Prime Savage Opress. For like 2 episodes, Savage was moving like Prime LeBron. He might have been in the same tier as Mary Sue Ray. Not even the characters with plot armor could stop him, especially not a guy like Halsey. But a Jedi Master should be able to put up a better fight than this. This is just pathetic. Jedi Master Tiplar had the excuse of being focused on the battle in front of her when Tup executed her. Obviously, if she had been able to put up a fight, that wouldn't have happened. From her brief
That hair,
appearance,
though.
it seems like she was a good Jedi who cared for the clones under her command. Her sister, Tipley, gets the next spot on this list because she just doesn't really do anything.
These are like all of
Supposedly,
the like
after Tiplar
low
died, she kinda
tier.
fell into a
Yeah.
dark place. That's understandable, but a good Jedi shouldn't let that consume them. And it seems like she didn't let it consume her, as she continued being a Jedi until Count Dooku beat her in a duel. Next up is a Jedi I bet you haven't heard of, and that's Coleman Siage. He randomly got promoted to the Jedi Council right
I don't
before
remember
Revenge of the
hearing
Sith,
about
and
this
basically all we
person.
see is him consistently showing up to council meetings. And somehow he managed to escape Order 66, and nobody knows his whereabouts. Good for him.
Yes.
Since when was Coleman such a popular name in Star Wars? How did 2 of these brothers get on
Damn
the
it, I don't
council?
think I've
bet
heard
if
of
the
that
Jedi Order had
person that I
Coleman
can think
Skywalker,
of.
things would have been different. I guess Stas Ali tried making a difference by fighting in the war, but then she died in
Yeah,
the
not that I
dumbest
could,
way
like, think
possible
of.
in Order 66. When the time came, the clones smoothly dropped back and shot her down. And the funniest thing is she didn't even notice what was happening. I honestly think she might have just died wondering what was happening to her speeder. Imagine being that clueless. Eth Koth is another council member who honestly isn't that great. Grievous didn't have much trouble capturing him, for one thing. And as I found out recently, he was actually kicked off the council because he had a secret family. Eventually, Vader hunted him down after Order 66 and made short work of him. I'm not really sure how much Eth Koth having a family should count against him. It was probably a serious attachment
Also,
issue for
chat.
him, but I
Low key, okay, low key. I don't know why I can play this video and not the other one. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I'm glad that we can watch this, but like, I don't know. I guess the difference is like there wasn't somebody talking over the clips, right? Is that like the difference? Also, Damon, I just realized your comment was attached to a super chat. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize. Oh my gosh. Not me. Still learning chat. For all the new people, hi. Hi, I'm Finley. I've been streaming for like, I don't know, like a month. For like a month, maybe. Not even. My debut was 420. My debut was 420. So thanks for being here and hanging out with me and stuff. Like, pretty cool.
I also know that true light side users can balance this without turning to the dark. Master Sifo Dyas was nearly kicked off the council due to
Pretty
repeated disagreements
cool.
with them. He had the gift of foresight and had many visions about the Clone Wars and the end of the Jedi Order. It makes sense that he would try to prevent this, but I feel like secretly creating a clone army
guess that
while
makes
pretending
sense.
to represent the
I
Republic
try to, like-
is a very misguided attempt at doing that.
I try to, like,
Evan PL is gonna
pause
be
most
our
of the
5th
time.
Jedi in a row with a seat on the council. His big moment was in the Citadel mission during the Clone Wars, except Actually, that whole thing was just a rescue mission to save him.
Okay.
PL was known as a great fighter, but getting captured by only a couple of droidekas makes me question that. For a master with his skill and knowledge, you'd think he'd have less of an attitude. I know people have different personalities, but a lot of times Master PL ends up acting a lot more similar to his friend Tarkin than a more patient Jedi like Obi-Wan. Agent Kolar also showed traits that did not exemplify the maturity
There's so many
and
of these
wisdom
people
a
that I
Jedi master
deadass
should
don't
have.
remember.
He tended to be very overconfident and even prideful of his own skills, particularly in combat. That's why Agent Kolar was the first to go when he came with Mace Windu to arrest the Chancellor. Even after Sidious revealed himself to be a Sith, Kolar didn't take him seriously at all. The thing with most of these Jedi Masters is that we just don't know much about them. They're all
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking a little bit. Is I was like, okay, like I have watched all of the content and like some of these guys I like barely fucking remember. So like these are not like major or even maybe like a super minor character. They're like whatever's after minor, like sub minor. Yeah, no, Boba Fett's super cool. Yeah, no, Boba Fett's super cool. Yeah, I have watched all of the Clone Wars and I've watched all of Rebels and I've watched all of the Disney shows and I've watched all of the movies, but like I don't know anything from like the games or for any of the like sub content from like I know that there's like books and games and like I think comics and stuff like that. But yeah, like I don't know like any of that stuff, but like yeah, and thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my goodness. You guys are spoiling me tonight. I don't know if I deserve it. I'm just here. I tried. Let me show you guys. I tried something. Let me go on a BRB and I can show you what I tried. Let me show you what I tried. It did not work out. I actually like went out and bought something for this stream, but I can't figure out how to make it work, and so it looks fucking stupid. I am low-key kind of mad because I don't really have money like that. But I really wanted this for stream. And you guys can laugh at me. I can't figure out how to turn my lightsaber on. Oh, you guys are seeing double. Oopsies. I can't figure out how to turn. I bought a fucking lightsaber and I can't figure out how to turn it on. And there's no instruction manual. There's no instruction manual. So I just have this stupid fucking waving arm with a with a fucking lightsaber that won't turn on. That too. Yes, the hand is also backwards. Uh, but yeah, no, I like bought this because I thought it would be like super cool. I thought it would be super cool to have for this stream. And then I went to like use it and clearly this is scuffed to fucking hell and back. Like what the fuck? I mean, it's only a little bit of a waste of money. It's fine. It's fine. I just like don't really have money to waste, but like I want to make streams cool and I want to make streams interactive and shit. And so like I want to get random stuff. Yeah. Just to like make streams better and more fun. But yeah, this is not it. I'm gonna go and install it. Not actually. I'm just gonna remove it. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to have, and then it was not. Did I fix my nose? I did not fix my nose. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, it was so fucked up. I don't know why all of my items are fucked up today.
Extremely skilled, no doubt about that, but the best Jedi Masters make more of an impact on the story of Star Wars because of who they are and who they've trained. Saesee Tiin, for example, is a master who was on the council for many years.
Oh,
He
I
was
have
widely
I know that I'm getting super sidetracked, but I do have some assets for tomorrow that'll be kind of hee hee ha ha. Tomorrow's a Twitch stream though. Yeah, tomorrow's a Twitch stream because tomorrow's ASMR and I only do ASMR on Twitch because like YouTube is super weird about ASMR. So tomorrow around like 6 o'clock, it's gonna be making tacos. We're gonna make tacos for Cinco de Mayo. So if you want to hang out with a white girl making tacos, uh, that'll be me. Yeah, that'll be me.
recognized as perhaps the best starfighter pilot in the Order. He even had very special telepathic abilities, since he was an Itachi. Thus, we can reasonably infer that he had the same powers as someone like Darth Cognis, who could see possible futures,
Yeah, white people
read
talk at
minds,
night.
and suppress people's force abilities. We rarely see him in action, though. And as it turns out, he may have never had a Padawan. In Legends, Saesee Tiin actually refused to take on a Padawan after the traumatic death of his master. There's plenty of Jedi that took long breaks between Padawans, or only trained 1 or 2. To me, that makes total sense. But choosing not to train a single apprentice is just wrong, in my opinion. If you're someone who's been blessed with the power, skills, and wisdom to become a master, that must be passed
got
down
both
to someone.
hard and
Refusing
soft
to do
taco
so is a
shells.
huge loss to the Order and to a youngling who would benefit greatly from that training. So yeah, Master Tiin kinda sucks for that. Not everyone is equally qualified to train someone, though. Unlike a
Have a
master like
fantastic
Bolo
night.
or
Thanks
Paul,
for stopping
Seer
by.
Junda gave
We
up
hope to
her
see you
Padawan's
soon.
location under intense torture from the Empire. When the Empire found her Padawan, they
Corn.
tortured her and destroyed her mentally until she became an Inquisitor. That's how Trilla, the second sister,
Yeah,
was
definitely
born. And then,
Corn.
the
I'm
fact that all of
biased.
this happened caused Seer to turn to the dark side and senselessly kill
Oh,
dozens
I
of
love
Imperials. Not even
Furia.
the torturers, just random rank-and-file troopers that happened to be there. Out of guilt, she cuts herself off from the Force. No good Jedi would ever do something like that, since following the Force is the most important thing a Lightsider should do. She does ultimately redeem herself through helping to train Cal and staying behind to fight Vader, but that only counts for so much. Master Quinlan Vos also has a complicated past. He was always a reckless person who disobeyed orders and broke the Jedi Code, and he completely fell to the dark side for a short period. And even when he came back to the Order, he had a secret lover who he stayed with after Order 66. But he did train Aayla Secura, a Jedi that we'll talk about later in this video. And his work saving Jedi on the hidden path after Order 66 was crucial to keeping many Jedi safe from the Empire. While he was a Jedi, many of his missions were focused on the criminal underworld and the lowest depths of the galaxy. It seems like he spent so much time with the low lifes that it rubbed off on him. Jedi Masters are supposed to be better than that. I could say the same about Ki-Adi-Mundi. I will admit, he's probably the most overhated Jedi of all time. I've been pretty harsh with him in my past rankings. The thing is, there's just not a lot going for him. George Lucas literally created
cool that
this
you can, like,
character
do
to be a
that
representation of what's wrong with the
yourself.
Jedi Order. He makes authoritative statements and quick bad judgment decisions multiple times during council meetings. That shows he's pretty arrogant. He appears to be emotionally distant and unsympathetic towards others. And he doesn't
I have
even
never
have
tried to
special
do that on
qualities
my own.
or powers to make up for his flaws. You could take issue with a lot of the Jedi for the things they do, but someone like Mace Windu is still a great duelist and a good teacher and
Mace Windu
compassionate in his
is
own way.
known
When you
for
look
being
at
a good
Ki-Adi-Mundi,
duelist.
it's like, well, he has 5 wives and some kids. Good stuff. And he's trying his best not to be attached to them, which is worse for everyone. But hey, low birth rates and everything. Next, we have a really complicated Jedi to rank. That's Master Luminara Unduli. On the one hand, I'm a fan of Luminara. She's a lot like a female version of Obi-Wan. She's always calm and collected. She's thorough and prepared for her missions. She's logical, disciplined, and follows the Jedi rules. But in following the Jedi rules to the letter, she has her fair share of issues as well. She was very emotionally detached from everything around her. She had good relationships with other Jedi, and she even got along with Anakin really well. But when it came to other people, she lacked empathy.
Yeah, she
For
lacked
example,
people
she
skills.
crashed her transport into a village and killed the Martez sisters' parents. And after they ask her for help, she just brushes them off and says, the Force is with you. Even if she had a mission to do, clearly the right thing would have been to stop and help, especially since she was the one that caused the problem. And of course, her main problem is her failure in training Barriss. At some point, as a Padawan grows up and becomes their own person, their decisions reflect back on the Master
That's
less.
true.
But the magnitude of what Barriss did has to have some implications for Luminara. Think about it for a minute. Barriss had become so dissatisfied with the way that the Jedi were handling the war that she thought bombing the Jedi Temple and then framing Ahsoka for it was the best course of action. That doesn't happen overnight.
Definitely
This was a
sociopathic
slow, dark
behavior.
progression for Barriss, and Luminara either didn't notice at all or didn't help her apprentice in the ways she needed. Master Unduli must have just dismissed Barriss's concerns, likely because Luminara saw no issue with the Jedi being the Republic soldiers in the war, causing pain and suffering across the galaxy. I mean, this is the woman who crashes into impoverished neighborhoods for fun and just walks away. So yes,
Yeah.
while she is an accomplished Jedi
Sociopathic
who fought on many
behaviors.
campaigns and shows great traits on many occasions, she has some glaring flaws, more so than the best masters. From here on out, pretty much every Jedi I'll talk about is really great.
Yeah.
And as we get higher,
I
who
figured we
these
were getting
masters have trained
into
will become more and more
important people
to
because
make a
we've
difference between them.
like
First, we have
gone
Adi
over a
Gallia,
bunch.
who did die a pretty dumb death at the hands of Savage Opress. But like I said earlier, with the way he was moving, there were
I mean,
very
Savage-
few Jedi who had a chance against him.
Low key, Savage was fucking brutal. In his peak, like he was strong. Yeah, no, he was strong. Like nothing to sleep. Don't fucking sleep on him, bro.
Even so, choosing to kick Savage in the knee like it's gonna do something is a terrible idea. You have a lightsaber,
Yeah.
just use it. It's funny that Savage humiliated her so easily because throughout the Clone Wars, she shows herself to be a pretty competent Jedi. She works alongside Anakin to rescue Eve Koth, and Anakin even respected her combat skills. She went toe-to-toe with Grievous when he boarded her cruiser, and didn't let herself get captured like Eve Koth or Evan Piel. But, just like her doppelganger, Stas Ali, Adi Gallia was trained to be a diplomat. She wasn't really meant to be a fighter, but she adapted to the war incredibly well. She understood that she was lacking in a lot of areas,
Low-key,
so she
though,
put
a
in
lot
the
of
work
being
to
a
make sure her
Jedi
dueling skills were up to par with the
is,
rest of the Jedi
like,
Masters.
diplomatic,
Coming in
because,
at the number
like,
20 spot is
you guys
Amagun Dai,
are
one of my favorite
the
Jedi
good
Masters,
guys. Like,
even
you
though he
guys are
only shows up
theoretically
in
the
one
ones
Clone Wars
fighting
episode.
for
He's the Jedi who makes a last
Yes.
stand on Ryloth with his clone troopers, so the Twi'leks can get to safety, and that's also why he has his name. Despite his inevitable death, he's intentional about caring for everyone around him throughout the episode.
Yeah, he was a good
Master
guy.
Dai is actually the one to come up with the plan that involves sacrificing himself and his men, but he genuinely asks the clones if they're willing to do it, rather than just ordering them to their deaths. Despite the lack of reinforcements and help from the Twi'leks, he still has faith in the Republic to the very end, and they finally come through when the relief aid is dropped by the blockade runners at the end. We never really see Master Tera Sinub in
Grievous
combat
is just a
situations,
fucking
but even
beast,
in his
though.
old age, he was a capable fighter. Tera Sinub was one of the oldest Jedi in the Order, a good friend of Yoda's and a retired council member. He was known for his wisdom and knowledge, a Jedi that was often sought out for advice by the likes of Anakin and Ahsoka. Other than that, his main job was supervising younglings through their training. Nothing too crazy. He was captured during Order 66 and killed sometime after, only to be preserved as a trophy in Fortress Inquisitorius. While Master Jaro Topal never served on the council or saved an entire planet, the way he carried himself during Order 66 shows what kind of Jedi he really was. He was gracious and
Yeah,
patient
Grievous still
when
has
training
one of, like,
Cal, while
my
still being
favorite
firm with him
fights.
given his young age. And during Order 66, Topal stayed calm and didn't tap into the dark side like some other Jedi did. Sure, he did kill some clones outright, but we see him use force pushes and deflect shots away from the troopers in an effort to
Yeah,
save their
he
lives.
wants to, like,
was able to
save
run through
people.
multiple squads and made it all the way to the escape pods. He probably wouldn't have died
Thanks,
if he hadn't been
Hard.
caught trying to protect
I hope that
Cal
you have
while
a
still trying
fantastic
to
time
save the
playing your
clones.
games.
Jaro Tapal was clearly extremely powerful and a great fighter. I wish we could have seen more of him in a comic or even a show, but until then, this is all we have. Believe it or not, Ayla Sakura is also a Jedi Master. She
Ayla's
may not
super
have been a
cool.
master for
I like
long,
Ayla.
but her service in the Clone Wars earns her a high spot on this list. She led the famous 327th Sky Corps alongside Commander Bly. Together, they were in charge of tens of thousands of clone troopers. It's easy to see why they followed her. But seriously though, this group fought in as many campaigns as anyone. From the very beginning, they were in the thick of it.
He
at
does have the
Geonosis.
body.
Ayla fought at Muradin, Quell, and extensively on Felucia, which is where she met her end at Order 66. She was one of the only Jedi to make a real difference on Felucia, too. The world was constantly going back and forth between the Republic and the Separatists. By the time she got there, it was the third Battle of Felucia, and she was on the verge of completely pushing the droids off the world. Unfortunately, Master Sakura was never able to train a Padawan that we know know of. She was
I
knighted
was gonna
not
say, I
long
don't
before the
think
Clone Wars
we
started, and because of the
we don't
enormous duty
see
of her command,
her
there simply wasn't
train
time for her to
anybody.
take on a learner. It's unclear whether Keller and Beck took on a specific Padawan, since he was the master in charge of training younglings and instructing them with their training sabers.
Yeah,
He's
he was
played
just
by
in
none
charge of
other
all of
than
the
Ahmed
kids.
Best, the Jar Jar Binks actor. While Grogu wasn't his Padawan, it seems like he was especially fond of the child. So when Order 66 happened,
Grogu's so
Master
fucking
Beck
cute though.
saved
Who's not
Grogu from
fond
the
of
clone
him?
troopers and managed to escape for himself. Unlike most of the Jedi that were stuck at the temple, he wasn't caught off guard by the clone troopers' betrayal. He went right
Yeah.
to work, taking out tons of clones even when he was nearly surrounded. Master Oppo Rancisis is one of the better council members, and even though it doesn't seem like he trained anyone, he was an excellent Jedi. As I mentioned in my Jedi Council video, he was one of the few Jedi who had mastered battle meditation.
He's also
an ability
got
that boosted the
best
stamina and
hair.
morale of the troops fighting for the user. Rancisis was able to use this ability on a massive scale, unlike anyone else, making him the most important person in any battle he was participating in. Because of his skills, he was the difference between the Republic winning and losing. Once he was sent to Seleucami, the campaign immediately started to turn in the Republic's favor, which is crazy considering both sides had been at a deadlock for months. That's why Dooku
Yeah, no. I mean, Ayla's just like a super I think that she's just kind of like cool because she was so I don't know, she was just like really protective of the planet that she was sent to, even though they had been consistently like low-key losing. And I wish that she could have been like around more because she had that like body. I don't know. And she just seemed like I don't know, she just seemed like really like nice. And I like seeing more female Jedi representation. I know that there's at this point like there's a lot, but it wasn't always that way, I guess. Yeah. And it's also still not like a lot comparatively, you know? Like yeah, if you know, you
Dooku
know.
made sure to eliminate him. He sent 12 specially trained assassins and Sora Bulk to do the job, a fallen Jedi who was one of the best lightsaber duelists of all time. And even then, Rancisis put up a great fight after just coming out of battle meditation, which essentially puts the user in a coma. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. Yariel Poof is another council member that stands out from the rest. To be fair, that's easy to do when half the group absolutely sucks and you're like 9 feet tall, but Master Poof still has a lot going for him. This guy didn't have a whole lot to
Bro
do
looks
for
like
most
an
of his career,
alien.
since he served on the council right
I mean,
up
I guess
until the
everybody's an
beginning of Attack
alien,
of the
but you know what I
Clones. But the
mean.
one time he had the chance, he took action. Poof had been tracking some terrorists who were planning to plant a bomb inside of Coruscant's main power generator. The bomb was powerful enough to destroy the entire planet, along with the trillions of people living there. So he teamed up with Jango Fett and Zam Wessel to stop the terrorists as they tried to set up the bomb. Unfortunately, before they could take anyone out, one of the criminals managed to activate the bomb. So Master Poof used all of his power to deactivate the bomb, losing his
Yeah.
life in the process. Jango Fett watched the whole thing, and he was in awe of Poof's
That's kind of like what I
sacrifice.
mean. It's
Obviously,
like
it
we
was
have
only
them,
logical
but
that
like
one
there's
man
not a
should
lot of good
sacrifice himself
ones.
for an entire planet, but that doesn't make it any less impactful. Master Depa Billaba only sacrificed herself for her Padawan, Caleb Doom, but this was also extremely impactful, since
Yeah.
Caleb would go on to become Kanan Jarrus. Bringing up a Padawan during the Clone Wars was not an easy thing. Jedi were supposed to teach and let their apprentices learn, but they also had to keep their Padawans safe in battle situations, which is challenging to say the least. Depa was able to do this because she was trained by the best. She was Mace Windu's apprentice, but after she became a knight, she continued to grow in maturity and did some things that were unusual for Jedi. Depa Billaba's open-mindedness is reflected in her training of Caleb Doom. Caleb grew to where he was able to fight right alongside Depa
Yeah,
in many
Caleb got
campaigns,
strong.
including the successful conquest of Kalar, the planet where she met her end. Kanan would go on to be a top 10 Jedi, in my opinion, because of how he was able to follow the light side so well, which he probably owed in part to Depa. So, because she protected her Padawan from the clones that day, Kanan Jarrus could live. Ezra Bridger had a master, and eventually Lothal was liberated, all because of her selflessness. Next is Eno
Badass.
Cordova, who mainly appears in Jedi Survivor. He trained Seer, and despite her shortcomings, she was still a great Jedi.
I was gonna say, I
at
don't
one
know who
time,
this
and that's a
is, I don't
testament to
think,
his
that I can
training.
think of.
He was a good friend of Qui-Gon Jinn, suggesting that Cordova had similar views when it came to listening to the Force over following the Jedi rules and traditions.
Oh, I didn't
When
play
Eno
this
had a vision of
game.
Order 66, he believed it. He desperately tried convincing the council to do something to stop what was coming, but
I
no
haven't
one
played
listened
any
to
of the
him.
games,
The
to be
Order
fair.
was too blind and clouded by the darkness that Sidious held over them. They didn't want to listen to what the Force had to say. Because of this, when the time finally came, he was ready. Eno Cordova survived Order 66 and managed to preserve lots of priceless information from
Question, chat. The only games that I have that are Star Wars games are the Lego Star Wars games. Should I play them? You guys think I should play them? I probably won't stream them because that'll probably be like boring, but should I play them? Has anybody played them? Are they good? I tend to like buy the Lego games on sale, but I never really like finish them because I get bored because they're not very challenging. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know.
other Jedi temples, and left clues behind so that Cal was able to recover some of it. He continued working on Jedha as part of the Hidden Path, the group that Quinlan Vos established to keep Jedi survivors safe from the Empire. Unlike Yoda, who completely exiled himself, or
I
Eve
haven't
Koff,
played the
who
Indiana
just tried to
Jones
hide,
one.
Cordova did what he could to serve. Sadly, this led to his death at the hands of the ISB
I should
agent
play
Mo
it,
Dooku.
okay.
But all in all, Eno Cordova consistently showed himself to be a wise Jedi who followed the light side of the Force as well as he could. Somehow, Jocasta Nu was also
I think the
able to
last
survive Order
one that I
66,
played
even though she was
was,
basically a fossil at that point. She served on the Jedi Council for
What is that
many
called?
years before stepping down to become the head librarian in charge of the Jedi
Fuck,
Archive.
I can't remember
In
what
this
the game is
role, she
called.
was able to
Oh,
make an impact
Horizon,
on
the Horizon
generations of
one, the
Padawans
Horizon
and
Zero
Jedi
Dawn one.
Knights who sought to learn and grow in wisdom. In the aftermath of Order 66, Jocasta Nu went back to the Jedi Temple to find the holocron containing the list of all of the Force-sensitive children in the galaxy. She knew someone needed to keep it out of Palpatine's hands, or all of those kids would have been turned to the dark side. She died at the hands of Darth Vader inside of the temple ruins shortly after sneaking in and destroying the list, ensuring all of those children were safe. And she even gave Vader a short fight. That's an impressive feat for anyone, especially an old lady who'd sat behind a desk for most of her life. Master Shaak Ti likely died to Vader as well, as shown in this deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith. While
don't
she
think I
didn't
know
have a
those
Padawan,
games.
she still deserves the number 10 spot on this list because of who she is and because of her service during the Clone Wars. She was in charge of training the clones on Kamino and overseeing all of the Republic's operations at Tapoka City. She
Yeah, they're
hadn't been
just,
a
like,
master
not
for very long before the war,
challenging.
so probably Shaak Ti just didn't have any time to take a learner under her wing with all of her responsibilities. And her job was no small thing. Every clone trooper in the army was under her supervision at some point in time. She had an impact on thousands, if not millions of people.
Yeah,
Shaak Ti
like, she
always
didn't
managed to be
take
empathetic and compassionate
a
despite her
Padawan, but
position.
she was in
still
charge of so
firm
many
and
fucking
rigorous, but she
people.
truly saw the clones as humans. While the Kaminoans and bounty hunter trainers would call the clones by their number designations, Shaak Ti always referred to them by the names they chose for themselves, even though she talked to hundreds of them on a daily basis. I know that meant a lot to the clones. And of course, she also served on the council during the war.
I have a hot take. I hope you guys are I hope you guys are ready for my hear me out. Let's back this up a little.
She also served on the council during the war,
Let me-
helping to
Damn, where's
bounty hunter trainers
Let
would call
me-
the clones by their
okay.
number designations. Shaak Ti
okay, my hear me out. My hear me out is this is so bad. I used to fantasize about getting by all the clones. You know? Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. I used to chat. Oh my gosh. I used to imagine getting gangbanged by the clones. That's my hear me out. That's my hear me out. I will not apologize for this. I will not apologize.
He always referred to them by the names they chose for themselves, even though she talked
I mean, not like
to hundreds
all
of
of
them on
them,
a daily
literally.
basis.
That would be
I know that
crazy.
meant a lot to the clones. And of course, she also served on
That'd
the
be
council
crazy.
during the war, helping to balance out the idiots that served with her that we ranked earlier. Now that we're in the top 10, these are the best Jedi Masters ever. Some of these spots could be switched around depending on your opinion, but I think I've got a pretty great list here. At the number 9 spot, we've got Kit Fisto. He's one of the best
The
Jedi,
Bad
no matter
Batch,
how you look
yeah.
at it. He's an amazing duelist, quite possibly one of the best for his time. Not to mention that he was fun, easygoing, and caring for those around him. And he was a solid council member who brought his calm and laid-back presence to a group that was mostly full of stiff and disciplined Jedi. But what I want to focus on for this ranking is how he trained his Padawan, Nadar Veb. We get to see Kit team up with his former Padawan
Like,
on a
everybody
mission to
has their
capture
hear me
Grievous
outs,
at
and
his
that's
secret
mine.
base. We can see that Veb has been a knight on his own for a little while now, but not for too long. He still lacks the skills and experience of a better Jedi. You see, once the war broke out, the council rushed to promote every eligible Padawan to be a Jedi Knight. But this meant that the Jedi had tons of very unprepared and inexperienced knights walking around in the middle of a war, which is not exactly a recipe for success. Nadar Veb is a representation of this. It doesn't help that Veb is also super overconfident.
That's
and
true. They
headstrong
did
as a
have to
person. He
expedite
thinks
a
he's
lot
all
of
that,
training
but he's really
because of the
not.
war.
And as it turns out, he has a bit of a dark side. He has no problem with outright saying that he wants revenge on Grievous after a trap kills a few clone troopers. So throughout this episode, there's moments where it seems like Kit is still teaching his former Padawan, reprimanding him for mistakes he shouldn't be making. Except, shouldn't some of this have already been addressed when Kit did have time with his Padawan? Because of his pride and overconfidence, Nadar Veb impatiently rushes in to fight Grievous, as if he expects to kill the guy right away. But
Yeah,
Grievous
no,
just
that's not
calmly
gonna
holds him with
work.
his sabers and pulls out a blaster with his spare hand, shooting Veb in the chest. Kind of a pitiful way to go, not gonna lie.
It really
Taking
is.
home the number 8 spot is Jedi Master
shit.
Yaddle, almost for the opposite reasons as Kit Fisto. You see, Yaddle isn't that impressive as a Jedi. She was a great council member who served for a long time, becoming friends with the likes of Dooku.
I have thought of this. I have thought of this like extensively, and yes, I do think that the clone. I mean, because the clones are like not all of the clones, but if we look at like say like the Bad Batch or something, like they're all highly skilled individuals within like the sector of like the clones and stuff, and so like you know, I want to see what else they're skilled at. Yeah, I want to see what else they're skilled at, you know? That's all.
Qui-Gon. And she was supposed to be really powerful too. But then when she confronts Dooku after he became a Sith, he wipes the floor with her. Like, she clearly never even had a chance. What most people don't know about her is that she was responsible for training tons of Padawans over the course of her
Oh,
long
shit.
life. Like Yoda, Yaddle had lived for centuries and invested her time in teaching the youngling classes while taking on apprentices for herself. Her most famous apprentice is none other than Oppo Rancisis, who would eventually join her as a master on the council, a super strong Jedi in his own right. And the other most notable apprentice
I'd
of
like to
Yaddle's was
inspect their
Jaro
superior
Tapal,
units.
another Jedi master, the guy who trained Cal Kestis. Her other Padawans aren't known, but obviously she trained others. Yaddle clearly lived a life of service and was dedicated to passing down her knowledge of the power of the Force. Sin Dralig may not have directly had legendary Padawans like Yaddle did, but he was responsible for training many of the Order's best fighters. Sin Dralig was the Jedi Battle Master, the best lightsaber instructor of all. He had mastered all of the lightsaber forms and was capable of using a dual-bladed saber or using 2 sabers at once. In this role, he was responsible for training all the younglings with training
Not many
sabers
people
and overseeing
can do that,
sparring
by the way.
matches
Like
them.
with good
And then,
proficiency,
with
you'll
Padawans, he
notice.
personally trained one-on-one with them
Yeah,
to
like
make
you'll
them
see
the best
that
warriors
not a
they
lot
could
of
be.
people
Not all
used
masters were
to.
equally capable of training their apprentices in combat, so Master Dralig filled in for them on this. You might have wondered how Obi-Wan was able to deal with Maul when Qui-Gon went down so easily. Sure, Qui-Gon was older, but he
Oh,
was a
shit,
Jedi
I didn't think
master.
about
Well,
that.
Qui-Gon was never that great at combat. After all, he didn't really need to be, given that he grew up in an era of peace. But Qui-Gon was wise enough to recognize that his Padawan didn't need those same weaknesses. So he sent Obi-Wan to train with Master Dralig frequently, which is how Obi-Wan became such an elite duelist and a master at
Ah.
wrestling. Likewise, when Obi-Wan trained Anakin, he sent the Chosen One to Master Dralig as well. Anakin was able to perfect his offensive style while becoming a better duelist all around. Other Padawans
Yeah,
like
no,
Ahsoka
that makes
visited
sense.
the Battle Master from time to time. Once he stepped into this role, he had an impact on pretty much every Jedi learner on Coruscant.
Ahsoka's not
And just by how he helped to train
Jedi Master,
Obi-Wan
though.
and Anakin, his teaching
Yeah,
changed the
she doesn't
galaxy
count.
forever. Now, our next ranking might be a bit of a hot take. So far, I've been pretty harsh on Masters if their Padawan turned out bad, and no one's apprentice turned out worse than Anakin. But I still believe Obi-Wan Kenobi deserves the number 6 spot on this list, and that's not just because he's my favorite Jedi.
6?
Now, you can talk about
Damn.
Obi-Wan's mistakes and shortcomings with Anakin all you want, but just think
Damn.
about it for a second. Literally right after becoming a Jedi Knight, he takes on Anakin as his Padawan, a 9-year-old who is way too old to be starting Jedi training. Honestly, it's unbelievable that the Jedi didn't stop this from happening. This is why Obi-Wan ended up being more like a brother for Anakin when he needed a father. But even just as a brother,
Okay. Low-key type shit. If Obi-Wan was more like daddy, if he was more like firm, if he was more authoritative, if he was more of like, I don't know, like a guide, I feel like Annie could have turned out better. That's my hot take. That's my hot take.
Obi-Wan still did an amazing job as a master. He had to deal with a confident, arrogant, headstrong kid who knew he was the Chosen One and was quickly becoming more powerful than anyone, and Kenobi managed to handle it. It was really an impossible
Did he,
task from the
though?
beginning, and nobody could have stopped Palpatine's manipulations. The fact is, Obi-Wan simply wasn't the right master for Anakin, but that's not his
Yeah,
fault.
T.
That aside, Obi-Wan is still
T.
an amazing Jedi. He was
Fuck
only
it.
a master for 3 years before the fall of the Order, but in that time, he still had numerous accomplishments during the war as one of the Republic's top generals. He stayed
Yeah,
strong through Order
this is what
66
happens when you
and
don't
took
beat your
down
children.
Anakin
They
at the
become
peak of
Darth
his powers.
Vader.
And when the time came, he was willing to exile himself with a purpose, to watch over Luke and make sure that Ben Kenobi could help him when the time came. After 20 years of waiting and thinking over his regrets, he willingly sacrificed himself to save Luke and his friends. And Obi-Wan continued to help Luke after death. I know this is inconsistent with my other rankings of Obi-Wan, but if we're just focusing on what he did as a Jedi Master and Anakin's teacher, I think he fits pretty well
Yeah.
right here. Moving into the top 5, we have Mace Windu. Personally, I have really mixed feelings on Mace. I've been tough on him in the past, but there's no denying that he's a great Jedi, and he trained a future Master and Council member in Depa Billaba. When I look at Mace, there's obviously some glaring issues. He was incredibly attached to the Order and followed its rules and traditions too closely without leading
My
room for following
Padawan
the
deserves a
Force. This caused
Padawan.
serious issues in his relationship
Yeah.
with Anakin, and since
Hey,
Mace was the
shit.
main representative of the Council, this ultimately pushed Anakin away from the Jedi and closer to Palpatine. Now, most of his criticisms about Anakin were correct. He was right not to
He
trust him,
was.
but
He
Mace
had
definitely
good
could have gone about dealing with
instincts.
Anakin in a different way. That's where his arrogance got the best of him. That's why Anakin chose to save Sidious rather than let Mace finish the Sith once and for all. Because if it weren't for Anakin intervening, Mace would have saved the Republic. There's no denying that
Yeah,
Mace
I
was
guess
the
that's
best
true, yeah.
duelist in the Order. Yoda, Kit Fisto, and the other Council members couldn't handle Darth Sidious, but Master Windu did. Mace was an excellent Jedi in the only way he knew how. The concept of following the Force like Qui-Gon did was completely foreign to him, and he was too narrow-minded to consider that to be possible. He simply wasn't wise enough to let himself grow in this way. He was just a product of the Order, and most of the time, in his decisions as a leader in the Order, he was correct. The fourth best Jedi Master is none other
Okay, hot take. Well, I don't know if it's a hot take, just my take. Mace Windu was based, but like nobody wanted to listen to him because he was kind of a dick. I don't know if that's a hot take, but he was just like most of the time he wasn't wrong, but like he just didn't have or it didn't seem like he had like that social connection or like I don't know, there's like you have to be like good at multiple things as like a Jedi and stuff, and I don't feel like he was very good at like the politics as much, I guess. And like I feel like if he was like better at that, if he was like it's not that he like wasn't charismatic. That's like the wrong thing to say. But like if he was charismatic in the way that like people could like I don't know, like do you guys know what I'm trying to say? Like I feel like he needed to like wrap his like deliver things better, like wrap up his deliveries a little better, you know? Like he needed to just like walk people through it a little bit more. Like he needed to like I don't know, give it to people softly. You know, you can't always give it to people hard. You gotta like sometimes you gotta like give things to people soft. So I feel like if he was a little bit softer in his deliveries, that like maybe they could have avoided a bunch of more like violence. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a clown girl on the internet. I'm just a
Than
clown on
Plo
the
Koon.
internet for
While he doesn't have a
yas.
notable Padawan like most of these other masters, Plo Koon takes this spot on the list just because of how great a Jedi he is. You'll remember that I said he was the best Jedi Council member of them all, and honestly, he was the obvious pick. When it came down to how Plo Koon carried himself as a
Yes,
Jedi
yeah.
and how he served the people around him, the other Council members couldn't compete. Like Shaak Ti, Plo treated his clone troopers as equals and individuals. He cared deeply for his men, and they loved him in return. And despite him never being seen with a Padawan, he took interest in other younglings and Padawans, taking time to give them advice and share his wisdom with them. But Plo
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
just a
good.
nice guy. He was easily one of the strongest Jedi of his time.
He had
was a
really strong
competent
force
duelist and
powers.
fighter, seeing as how he led the Wolf Pack through as many campaigns as anyone. And more evidence of his power came from his mastery of the Force. Master
Yeah,
Plo was
see?
the one who created an ability called Electric Judgment, which was essentially a light side version of Force Lightning, where the user sent yellow bolts at the enemy. This had never been done before because using Force Lightning was always a dark side ability, and something that no Jedi had ever been able to master without being pulled into darkness. But Plo was so grounded in the light side of the Force that
Yeah,
he was able
just
to
such
pull it
like
off. Palpatine was
positive
lucky
guy
he
that he was
happened
able to
be
do
in the air
it.
during Order 66, because I doubt that the Wolfpack would have been able to handle Plo fighting for his life. But with that, we've hit the top 3. These guys are the absolute best Jedi Masters out there. And
Hype
what better way
shit.
to start than with Master Qui-Gon Jinn? Just strictly based on how Obi-Wan turned out because of Qui-Gon's training, he's clearly one of the best Jedi Masters.
You know what,
But the way
T?
Qui-Gon always followed the Force is what gets my respect. Although it
Yeah,
was
no,
reasonable for
he
the
was-
Council to doubt him in The Phantom Menace, it's clear that this wasn't the first time. Qui-Gon always had his differences with the Council, which is why he rejected their offer to join them. He saw the Jedi Order's obsession with rules and traditions for what it really was, and he wanted no part of it. When he found Anakin Skywalker, he knew this was the chosen one, and he wasn't going to let anyone stop him from making sure that he was trained.
Low key, like honestly, like claps for my king who didn't want to be politically involved because sometimes I truly feel that in my soul. Yeah. Sometimes I truly feel that in my soul. So
It was just destiny, and Qui-Gon recognized that. And even after his death, Qui-Gon proved that he had access to power that no other Jedi did. He was the first Jedi to become a Force ghost, and he started talking
Oh,
to Yoda
shit,
after
yeah.
his death in
I
order
didn't
to
even
train
think about
Yoda
that.
to have the same
That's
power.
true,
That's why
though.
Yoda talked about
Yeah,
sharing
T.
the power with Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith, so that Kenobi could also talk to Qui-Gon and become a Force
Yeah,
ghost for
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
That's how Obi-Wan was capable of speaking to Luke and appearing to him on multiple occasions. During his exile on Tatooine,
I
Obi-Wan
totally
had time
forgot
to
about
learn
that.
this power that Qui-Gon had discovered. To me, that really shows that Qui-Gon was deeply connected to the Force
Yeah, I
in a
totally
way
forgot
that most
about
other
that.
Jedi weren't.
That's a
He
very
essentially
good point.
discovered immortality,
Yeah.
and that discovery made a huge difference in
Yeah.
almost every Star Wars movie. He may not have been a very good duelist, but he was powerful nonetheless. Perhaps the most powerful Jedi of all time is Grandmaster Yoda, the second best Jedi Master. When I looked at everything Yoda's done, it's hard to rank him anywhere else, even with all the mistakes he made. For starters, Yoda's trained more Jedi than anyone. He had Padawans like
Wait,
Sin
deadass, who
Raleigh and
they-
Dooku,
who are
as
they
well as
ranking above
Ki-Adi Mundi
Yoda?
and even Luke Skywalker.
It's not-
Yoda was the Grand
Is
Master
it
of the Order
Luke?
and
Are they
the
really
head of the
ranking
Jedi
Luke
Council.
above
He led
Yoda?
the Order for centuries. He invested time teaching
Deadass?
thousands of hours of classes for younglings, giving them his wisdom and knowledge. Yoda believed in having a deep connection to the Force, which is why he spent so much of his
I
time
don't think
in
I agree with
meditation,
that.
thinking on the future and the state of the Jedi Order. So when began the Clone Wars had, Yoda knew that this was just the beginning of the end for the Order. While he fought in the war just like everyone else, Yoda understood that there was little that the Jedi could do
And Loki,
to
I don't know if I
change the
agree with
course
that,
of
but I've
fate.
also
He
seen
was
a lot more
stoic in the
content with
face of
Yoda in it
becoming
than I have
darkness and
with
nearly
Luke
defeated
in
Sidious
it.
despite his old age. And while he didn't exile himself with the same purpose as Obi-Wan, it seems as though Yoda knew that one of the Skywalkers would show up to Dagobah eventually. And with some convincing, he was able to prepare Luke for his fight with Vader in just a matter of weeks. And that training saved Luke's life on Cloud City. So that means Yoda took part in training the greatest Jedi ever, and that's Luke Skywalker. In conquering the Sith and bringing back
We have to take this stupid fucking nose off for this. I don't think I agree. I don't think I agree. Maybe it's just like because I don't like have the same attachment to the original trilogy because like that's not my like era, you know? But like also because I've seen so much more media with like other Jedi and I haven't seen as much media with Luke in it, but like yes, Luke is powerful, but is Luke more powerful than some of the other top Jedi that we've listed? Like, be so fucking for real right now. Be so fucking for real right now. Do we deadass believe that? Like, do we deadass believe this? Like, I'll hear him out. I'll hear him out. Okay, I'll hear him out.
balance to the Force, he became the best of all the Jedi. He was something that none of the others could be. A fresh start, completely unrestrained by the Jedi Order. And he is a Skywalker after all. For all of his faults, Luke is absurdly powerful. With very minimal training, he took down the Empire and helped establish the New Republic. My headcanon is that Luke did go and establish the new Jedi Order, and using the example of the old order, he made changes to ensure that the same mistakes wouldn't be made again.
That's your
the new order was
headcanon.
flexible and less about rules and more about how a Jedi carried themselves and cared for others. From what little I do know about this era of Star Wars, I think Luke did a great job with bringing the Jedi back to the galaxy. Is there anything you'd change about this list? As always,
Yes. Yes, there's things I would change about this list. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Like, low-key, let's be so fucking for real right now. Would, and this is gonna be a really hot take, I might make people mad. Would Luke have been the hero of the original trilogy if he wasn't fighting his daddy? Just like, just like, look, I know he fought other people, like I get that, but like low-key, if he wasn't fighting his daddy, would he be the same hero that we know? Like, I feel like that is nepotism. I feel like that's nepotism. I'm gonna get so fucking canceled. Let me stand on business. Let me stand on business. Luke Skywalker is not the best Jedi ever, and anybody saying that he is just supporting a nepo baby. That's the clip, chat. That's the clip. Please don't cancel me, internet. Please don't cancel me. I love you. Oh my god. This video had stuff that I didn't agree with, but that's okay. We can all have opinions, and some of our opinions are wrong. Yeah, we can all have opinions, and some of our opinions are wrong, and that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. But since we learned about the Jedi, we should learn about the Sith, right? So here we are, chat. Yeah, here we are.
Side of the Force has always promised power to those willing to embrace it. Across both canon
This is
and
7
legends,
levels of
seven
Sith.
Sith stand out not for their strength alone, but for what their power revealed. Each level of mastery exposed new limits that demanded to be overcome. The Sith understood this in ways the Jedi never could. Their history is written not in philosophy, but in the lives of those who pushed beyond what others thought possible, only to discover that what they gained was never quite enough. The path
That if you were in Star Wars, do you think you'd be a Jedi or do you think you'd be a Sith? Do you think you'd be a Jedi or do you think you'd be a Sith? Low key. Hear me out, okay? I think that I would like try to be a Jedi. You have to remember, I have like pretty bad mental disabilities. So like I feel like I just have my like BPD split and I would just be a Sith. Like I couldn't help it. Like I would not be able to help it. Like low key. I would almost certainly be a Sith. Like not even on purpose. Not even on purpose. Just like on accident. I feel like in order to be a Jedi, you have to be a lot more mentally stable than I am. I just don't have that. I don't have that like inner peace, you know? I don't have that. I only have inner chaos.
begins with those who served the dark side,
Right,
but were never
Jedis.
granted its title. Asajj Ventress
Also,
was one of
wait a second. Also, Jedis can't fucking goon. Jedis can't fucking goon, bro. How am I gonna be a Jedi if I can't fucking goon? Well, you can goon, you just like can't, you know, like have meaningful relationships. So I guess like I could be a Jedi, but like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm a lover girl at heart. Yeah, I'm a lover girl at heart. So like I feel like if I don't want to be alone forever, if I don't want to be alone forever, I couldn't be a Jedi. Yeah, I couldn't be a Jedi.
the Clone Wars' most dangerous assassins, yet she was never a true Sith. She could match Jedi Masters
Loki,
in
I can
single
be into
combat,
horrific things
slip into
though.
Republic facilities using stealth and deception, and command Separatist forces
Like
when
do horrible
needed.
things to
She
me,
combined
Daddy.
twin lightsabers
Daddy
with lethal
Sith, like,
precision, mixing
please?
Night Sister magic with dark side techniques. Her fighting style blended the aggression of Form
Jesus
5 with the
Christ.
chaos of Night Sister sorcery, creating combinations the Jedi hadn't trained to counter.
The
In
Night
canon
Sisters were so
continuity,
fucking
the
cool.
animated series The Clone Wars establishes her as Count Dooku's most trusted operative during the war, hunting Jedi across the galaxy. She was a dark side assassin, trained by Dooku, but never granted the title of apprentice. The Sith
Ventress is
operate
so
under the
cool.
rule of two, one master and one apprentice.
Yeah.
And Dooku already served Darth Sidious. Ventress was a tool, expendable the moment she became
I
inconvenient.
really hope Ventress comes
Season
back.
3, Episode 12, Night Sisters, shows that when Sidious senses her growing power during a battle in the Solus system, he orders Dooku to eliminate her. The Count abandons her mid-battle, commanding his fleet to fire on the command ship where she fights alongside Anakin and Obi-Wan. She survives, but the betrayal exposes the truth about her power. When the Night Sisters of Dathomir take her in and heal her wounds, she strikes back at Dooku using magic-enhanced
Yeah, this
invisibility
was so
and poison,
cool.
nearly killing
This
him
was so
in his
cool.
castle
She
on
got
Serena.
really fucking close
Despite
to
her
killing him.
skill, she fails because tools, no matter how sharp, eventually break when used against their makers. Ventress's abilities were real, but they had always belonged to someone else. She drew on the dark side with skill and precision, never for her own purpose. A dark side warrior operating outside the Sith hierarchy, powerful, but never granted true status or autonomy. The Sith were never satisfied with tools.
Yeah,
They needed
Mandalorians are
something
cool
raw,
too.
something that could sustain itself through pure will, even when everything else was taken away. One apprentice embodied that hunger. Darth Maul fought
Yeah.
with pure hatred made physical.
If you guys,
His
Loki,
acrobatic
if you guys haven't watched the Darth Maul show that like just came out, I think it's pretty fucking good. I think it's pretty peak. They have like the animation that they can do now, like compared to what like I remember from like Clone Wars and from like Rebels and stuff. I feel like it's gotten a lot better. Probably also like the production quality, I imagine, and stuff. Like it's just, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good personally. But I'm also not like anti Disney Star Wars. Like I'm not like necessarily the biggest fan of Disney Star Wars, but also like I'm not against them. Yeah.
Combat style turned
Yeah, they
lightsaber
really
dueling
like did a
into
good job at like
overwhelming
fleshing him
aggression,
out and
using
humanizing
his
him and stuff.
double-bladed saber to attack from multiple angles
His
at
story
once.
for the new show
During
is
the
really
Battle of
good.
Naboo, shown in the canon film The Phantom Menace, he engaged 2 Jedi Masters at the same time, striking down Qui-Gon Jinn before Obi-Wan Kenobi cut him in half and sent both pieces down a reactor shaft. By every
And okay, spoiler alert, but he got cut in half and he fucking survived. Like that's some shit, bro. Like that's some fucking shit.
measure, Maul should have died. His body was destroyed, and his connection to his master was severed. Yet that hatred wouldn't let him die. Canon sources pick up his story over a decade later in The Clone Wars, Season 4, Episode 21, Brothers. That hatred kept him conscious as he fell thousands of meters down the reactor shaft. It held his organs together as his broken body crashed into the junk world of Lothal Minor, a planet of endless refuse where scavengers picked through mountains of discarded machinery. His shattered mind, struggling to
I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything. But the new show does have Vader in it at the end. It does. Yeah. The brand new show that just came out. Yeah.
maintain
I've
consciousness
watched all
through
of it.
agony that should have killed him instantly, began cannibalizing droid parts scattered across the wasteland. He fashioned crude mechanical legs from whatever salvage he could reach, transforming himself into a spider-like creature that dragged his torso through the tunnels beneath the junk heaps. For over a decade, Maul existed in those tunnels, his mind fractured, his memories fragmented into broken loops of hatred and pain. He built a lair from wreckage and lived like an animal, surviving
a
on
much
vermin
better
and the
body in
occasional
the new
unlucky
show.
scavenger who ventured too deep. His connection to the Force remained, twisted and raw, feeding on his rage, while offering nothing in return but the strength to endure another day of madness. When Savage Opress finally found him, Maul was barely sentient. He muttered broken phrases about fear, hunting, filth, and worthlessness, his mind unable to form coherent thoughts.
Yeah, he was like fully
The
mind
power that kept him
broken.
alive also destroyed his sanity. Mother Talzin's magic eventually gave him new legs and restored his mind enough to function, but the damage ran deeper than missing limbs. While canon
Not
establishes
PTSD.
Maul's survival through hatred alone, the Legends novel, The Wrath of Darth Maul, reveals how Sidious shaped this weapon from childhood. Chapter 1 describes Maul raised on Mustafar in isolation, subjected to harsh training that turned a boy into an instrument of pure rage.
Yeah, no,
Unlike
like the fucking shit that these people have to go through in order to like be chosen. So like if you guys haven't seen, you didn't watch like Clone Wars, the people that the sisters train that are the same race as Maul. I forget what their race is called, but they, in order to like be chosen as the like successor that goes to the Sith, they literally fight to the death. Like it's hardcore. Like it's some absolutely fucked up shit. Like it's crazy. Like killing your own brother type shit, you know?
Ventress, who'd known Jedi training before falling to darkness, Maul knew nothing but the dark side from the beginning. He wasn't
Yeah.
meant to think or question. He was meant to hate, to hunt, to kill. Maul had become exactly what Sidious intended, a being whose entire existence revolved around hatred. That single-minded focus also limited him.
Thank
He
you.
could
I could
survive
not
through rage
remember what
alone,
it was called.
but he couldn't build anything with it. When he briefly seized control of Mandalore in the Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 16, The Lawless, Sidious himself arrived to crush those ambitions, reminding Maul that he was just an apprentice, not a true
Yeah,
master.
this was fucking
The Sith
brutal.
needed more than survival through emotion. They needed power that could reshape the galaxy, even
He
if that
tried
power...
he tried so what you guys just saw is him trying to fight him with his brother. Let me back up like 30 seconds.
Even if that power came with...
Wait.
Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 16, The
There.
Lawless, Sidious himself arrived to crush those ambitions.
These two are brothers and he just fucking destroyed them.
Reminding Maul that he was just an apprentice,
Yeah.
not a true master.
It was not
The
close.
Sith needed more than survival through emotion. They needed power that could reshape the galaxy, even if that power came with restraints. That power emerged in the Chosen One himself. Anakin Skywalker
Fucking
became
lava
Darth
man.
Vader with raw force potential that exceeded almost anyone in galactic history. The canon film Revenge of the Sith shows the transformation after his defeat on Mustafar, but the Legends novel, Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, reveals what the armor cost him and what remained. Where canon leaves Vader's limitations implied, Legends sources provide the devastating technical details.
Oh.
Vader's power in the Force remained staggering despite his injuries. He could choke admirals across vast distances without physical contact, reaching through hyperspace itself to crush
he's strong as
windpipes
fuck.
on distant star destroyers, hunting Jedi survivors who thought they'd hidden beyond his reach. In combat, he
Vader's
tore
scary.
through squads of soldiers with brutal efficiency, his crimson blade cutting through blaster fire and flesh with equal ease. The Legends novel Lords of the Sith describes how he could manipulate entire battlefields through
If
the
I wasn't
Force,
illiterate, I would
projecting
like read
waves
some of
fear
these.
that drove enemy soldiers to panic.
I'm not actually
and
literate,
flee.
chat, but like, you know
When
what
he
I mean?
boarded rebel vessels, his presence in the Force preceded him like a wave of darkness, announcing his arrival before he even ignited his lightsaber. His rage fueled strength that made him the Empire's ultimate enforcer. When he arrived on a world, resistance collapsed. When he boarded a ship, crews surrendered rather than face him. Yet the suit that saved his life became his prison. Chapter 2 of Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader describes
Loki,
the
it's kind of
respirator
sad what
connecting
happened to Vader.
directly to his damaged lungs through tubes entering his throat.
Not
A
even
cable
Loki,
from his
like a
chest
high
control
key.
box regulated his heartbeat and maintained the pressurized environment his ruined body required. The medical droids had used inferior alloys for his prosthetic legs and failed to properly inspect the strips that protected the electromotive lines. The suit didn't just
Bruh.
limit Vader's mobility, it severed him from abilities he'd
Yeah,
once
yeah.
taken for
I
granted.
feel like I like read shit
He
and then
needed
like
a
I immediately
hyperbaric chamber
forget it.
just to remove his mask. In his meditation chamber, where he could briefly exist without the suit, he felt the Force
No,
more
just
clearly than when
autistic
trapped
and
in the armor.
ADHD.
The Emperor had designed it that way, whether through intention or negligence. Either way, Vader was powerful enough to destroy
Not
any
like,
threat to the Empire, but
dyslexic.
limited enough to never challenge his master. That kind of power solved one problem and created another. Physical constraints were just one prison. Every Sith discovered that pure devotion to the dark side created its own limits. Rage destroyed sanity. Hunger consumed everything. Power demanded constant sacrifice. Some tried to escape this trap entirely by walking both paths at once.
Low key, I don't know how to explain. So, like, okay, Darth Vader in my headcanon, okay? In my headcanon, Darth Vader is like the start of like, there's like this trend that like women like sexy masked men. And I feel like even though it's a really old shout, I feel like Darth Vader like fits that profile because you see Anakin and Anakin's hot, like Anakin's daddy. And then you see Darth Vader with the mask on and you're like, "Oh, but like Anakin's underneath there, right?" Like okay, daddy, like we can role play, you can put on a mask. But then the mask comes off and you're just like, maybe not." Maybe not. Like, actually, maybe not. You know, like maybe not. Yeah. I feel like that's the same thing as, like, girls who what's been trending on TikTok is, like, girls who like men who ride motorcycles, and they have, like, motorcycle helmets on, and I'm just like, "The girl Darth Vader could be under there. You don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know." Wait a second. Why is there no fucking sound? Hello? How did this even get muted?
Revan exists entirely in Legends continuity, found in the video game Knights of the Old Republic and the novel The Old
Yeah.
Republic,
I have
Revan. He represented
I have
something the
thoughts.
galaxy had
I have
rarely
weird
seen,
thoughts.
a Sith Lord who mastered both sides of the Force without being consumed by either. As a military strategist, Revan defeated the Mandalorian crusade that had conquered world after world while the Republic hesitated. He saw through the Mandalorians' seemingly chaotic attacks and recognized the calculated pattern behind them. At the Battle of Malachor V, he commanded the use of the Mass Shadow Generator, an experimental superweapon that would draw upon gravitational anomalies to destroy every ship in orbit. His general, Mitra Surik, gave the order to activate it, crushing the Mandalorian fleet in a single devastating strike. The weapon
Like, the
won
same
the
thing I
war,
wonder about
but shattered
Mandalorians. Are, like,
countless
all
lives in the
Mandalorians
process,
hot under
killing
their
thousands of
helmets?
Republic soldiers along with the
Although
enemy.
not all
The Jedi
Mandalorians
who
don't take
followed
off their
him into
helmets, we've
battle
learned that.
learned warfare
It's only
under
a
his
small
command,
section that do
becoming
leave them
hardened
on at all
soldiers
times.
rather than peacekeepers. As a duelist, he could face multiple Jedi at once and emerge victorious, his lightsaber technique blending multiple forms into something uniquely his own. As a Force user, he drew on both light and dark
Yeah,
side
keep the mask
abilities
on,
with equal
daddy.
skill, using rage when needed, but tempering it with Jedi discipline. When he turned to the dark side and claimed the Star Forge, an ancient Rakatan space station that could manufacture entire fleets using the Force, he commanded
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is, like, Mandos that we've seen, low-key kind of handsome. Low-key kind of handsome. And even, like, okay, I have a thought. Again, I don't like women, but if Bo-Katan did not have that fuck-ass bob, if she did not have that fuck-ass haircut, I feel like she could get it. I feel like I'd let her hit, but that fuck-ass haircut just, like, ruins it for me. Oh my god, I fucking can't, bro. I fucking cannot. I don't know why they did that to her. Yeah, I don't know why they did that to her. And yeah, it was like a small sector of Mandos that can't take their helmet off. It's like a small sector of them. But yeah, they did her dirty. They did her real dirty with that fucking hair.
armies that brought the Republic to its knees. The Star Forge fed on the dark side,
And I feel
converting
like
stellar
Bo-Katan would
matter
also
into
be a
ships
chop,
and
so
weapons at a
like
pace no conventional shipyard could match.
he just
Revan
gets rid of
used it
that
to build an
haircut
armada
and we can have
that
some fun. It's
overwhelmed
fine.
Republic defenses, conquering system after system with strategic precision that made every victory seem inevitable. His power came from refusing to limit himself. Where other Sith burned with pure hatred, Revan blended rage with tactical precision.
Okay, I have a question. I asked my parents this question because they're like, Star Wars people. How are there humans when there's no Earth? Like, there's not Earth, at least not like normal Earth, you know? Like, how are there humans if there's not Earth? Also, I think I'm fucking frozen. What the hell? Can you guys hear me at least? Why am I fucking frozen? Bro, okay, let me fix that. Let me fix this shit. What the hell is going on? Yeah, I'm just like, There's literally there's no ER as far as I know.
precision. That balance became his fatal weakness.
So like, where do humans come
Malik
from?
betrayed him during a Jedi ambush, leaving him for dead. The Jedi Council erased Revan's memories and rebuilt his identity as a weapon against Malik.
I don't have
When
regular
Revan
autism,
eventually
I have
destroyed
space
both Malik
autism.
and the Starforge, he found himself caught between two lives. Chapter 1 of the novel Revan describes the nightmares that started years later, fragmented visions of a greater threat. On Nathema, he found a dead world, completely lifeless in the Force. Every living being had been consumed by a Sith Lord named Vitiate over 1,000 years earlier. Revan realized he'd been compromised by this ancient Sith Emperor, manipulated into attacking the Republic as part of a larger plan. He traveled to confront Vitiate before the Emperor could launch a full-scale invasion. Chapter 6 shows Revan's attempt fails. The Emperor
Alderaan's
was too
not
powerful,
Earth,
sustained by centuries of dark side
it?
rituals. The Sith Lord Scourge betrayed Revan at the crucial moment, recognizing the Emperor couldn't be defeated through direct confrontation.
I guess it's kind of low-key,
Vitiate
kind of like Earth,
imprisoned
right?
Revan,
Like,
keeping him alive for 3 centuries
breathable
to
air and
drain
shit.
information from his mind. Revan's division between light and dark had made him powerful. Against an opponent who had abandoned all restraint, who'd consumed entire worlds to fuel his power, Revan's careful balance was not enough. The Sith didn't want balance. One Sith achieved domination that reshaped the entire galaxy. Darth Sidious commanded power that went beyond raw force ability. Canon sources
it's
from
probably
the
like the
film
closest
saga
thing we
show his
have.
rise to Emperor through political manipulation, while legend sources reveal how he learned to weaponize an entire government and challenge the Force itself. As Palpatine, he organized the Trade Federation's blockade of his homeworld, Naboo. He maneuvered himself into the position of Supreme Chancellor. He spent years dismantling the Republic from within. He manipulated the Clone Wars into existence. He engineered Order 66 to eliminate the Jedi. He transformed a 1,000-year-old
oh
democracy
yeah, it could have been
into
Coruscant,
the Galactic
maybe.
Empire with himself as its absolute ruler. He did it all while appearing as a kindly politician, a guardian of democracy who reluctantly accepted emergency powers. Where canon establishes Sidious's political genius, the Legends novel Darth Plagueis expands on his Force mastery
Not the
in
novel
ways
skin,
canon
bro.
sources only hint at. For years, Plagueis conducted experiments in the manipulation of midichlorians, attempting to influence them to create life, or extend it indefinitely. He worked in isolation, driven by an obsession that bordered on madness, while Sidious learned the depths of Sith sorcery at his side. The novel describes how Plagueis studied the organelles as they functioned in living beings, seeking to bend them to his will and unlock the secret to immortality that had eluded every Sith before him. Sidious absorbed these lessons while secretly plotting his master's end. The night he became Chancellor, he killed Plagueis in his sleep. In that moment, the Force shifted. The Foresight
Yeah, I
that
could
once
see Naboo
came
being
easily to
kind
Jedi
of
Masters
Earth-like too.
now arrived clouded and uncertain. The Jedi could no longer sense the future clearly. They were blind, and Sidious had become the galaxy's hidden master. Proving the Rule of Two's core principle, the apprentice must surpass and destroy the master. When he faced Yoda in
breathable
the Senate
atmosphere with,
chamber and
like,
held his
good,
own against the Order's most
stable
powerful master,
ecosystems.
he demonstrated that his political cunning was matched by raw force power. For all his victories, he remained mortal, his body aging while the Rebel Alliance persisted despite his efforts. When Luke Skywalker refused him, and he was thrown down a reactor shaft aboard the second Death Star, even his return through clone bodies proved the limitation. He was still bound to the physical galaxy, still dependent on vessels and technology and subordinates who might fail or betray him. Political power, no matter how total, couldn't overcome the basic constraint of existence itself. The Sith had always wanted more than rulership. They wanted to rise above the
complete
limits that made them
power.
vulnerable. Some achieved this by becoming something other than alive. Darth Nihilus didn't fight with lightsabers or force lightning. He consumed life itself. Operating entirely within Legends continuity, The reference book,
I have
The
no
Old
idea who the
Republic
fuck this guy
Encyclopedia,
is.
describes what happened on the Miraluka colony of Qatar. The Jedi Order had called a secret conclave there, gathering thousands of Jedi across the galaxy to discuss the Sith threat. They believed they were hidden, protected by the Force and the remote location of the colony. However, they were wrong. When Nihilus arrived in orbit aboard the Ravager, he didn't deploy troops or bombard the surface. He simply reached out through the Force and fed.
Yeah, I don't think
Every
I
living
remember
being
him
on
from
Qatar
anything.
died in moments. Not killed, but consumed. The planet became a mass grave. Thousands
I
of
don't-
corpses lying
Am
where
I
they'd
just like
fallen.
not?
Their deaths
Is
so
my
sudden,
brain blinking?
they hadn't
Like,
even time to react. He existed as a wound in the Force itself, a living void that hungered for Force energy the way a black hole hungered for matter. His power operated on a level that conventional Sith abilities couldn't match. The video game Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, establishes his origin during the
Oh, it's
destruction
from
of
the
Malachor
game.
5.
That's why.
The mass shadow generator ripped a wound in the Force, killing almost everyone
Jesus
instantly.
fucking Christ.
Nihilus survived, but the experience transformed him into something never seen before. His body deteriorated until nothing remained but consciousness bound to armor and mask through Sith sorcery. The mask
Oh.
became his identity, the expressionless face that looked out as worlds died. Nihilus's power was absolute in its specific domain. However, it came with a terrible price. He couldn't communicate normally, his language becoming incomprehensible.
Yeah, that's
except to
low-key
his
what it sounds like.
apprentice,
It sounds like
Visas
he's
Mar.
definitely kind
He
of a
couldn't
lich.
interact with the galaxy except through consumption, and every world he fed on left him stronger, but no more satisfied. The hunger grew with every meal, demanding more until nothing less than draining the Force from the entire galaxy would be enough.
Bruh.
When his apprentice turned against him and brought the Jedi exile Ventress to confront him, Nihilus discovered his power was useless against her.
Yeah, is he
Surik
like just
was a
from the
wound in the Force like
games?
him, already empty and cut off. He tried to drain her and found nothing to consume, his hunger becoming his downfall.
'Cause
His
I don't
power could
recognize
reshape worlds and
him.
murder thousands with a thought, yet it couldn't satisfy the void at his core. He'd proven that even becoming a force of nature had its limits. One Sith Lord had
Yeah,
found
bro's
a
like a
way to go
Shinigami.
further still, to consume worlds not out of uncontrollable hunger, but through deliberate choice. To extend his existence not for centuries, but for millennia. This was the final evolution of Sith power. The final Sith exists entirely within Legends continuity, documented in the reference book The Old Republic Encyclopedia and the video game Star Wars The Old Republic. On the planet Medrias, a boy named Tenebrae was born with such dark side power that even as a child, he could kill with a thought. By age 10, he killed his Sith Lord father. At 13, he conquered his entire homeworld
That's
and earned the
crazy.
title Lord Vitiate from Marka Ragnos, the ruler of all Sith. For the next 100 years, he remained on his homeworld, delving deeper into dark side rituals and Sith sorcery, while the galaxy forgot about him. When the Sith Empire collapsed after the Great Hyperspace War, the now ancient Lord Vitiate emerged from his solitude. He summoned every surviving Sith Lord to his world, and 8,000 answered his call. He promised unity, strength, and a path forward that would ensure survival.
So many of
They
these
agreed
guys
to
are from like
participate in a
media that I'm
ritual
not
that would
familiar
bind them
with.
together, channeling their collective power toward a single purpose. What followed would change the galaxy forever. The ritual lasted 10 days. For the first 9 days, he bound the Sith Lords together in meditation, linking their minds
What
and their
the
power
fuck?
to his will.
Wait, so they're like sitting there just becoming a hive mind? Like,
Dark
What
side
the
energy
fuck?
gathered around Medrias, visible from orbit as storm clouds that pulsed with red lightning. On the 8th day, several Sith Lords attempted to break free, sensing the trap Vitiate had laid. He crushed their resistance with contemptuous ease, binding
Okay,
them
yeah.
ever tighter to his will. By the 9th day, none of them could move without his permission, their wills completely
holy shit.
subjugated. On the final day, the planet itself screamed as Vitiate consumed the life force of every Sith Lord, every living creature, every plant, every microorganism. The 8,000 Sith Lords died first, their screams cut short as their essence flowed into Vitiate, followed by every other living thing in a wave of death that spread across the planet's surface. Vitiate emerged as the only survivor, transformed into something beyond mortal as the energy extended his life indefinitely. He declared himself Sith Emperor.
Okay, yeah, I
and
was gonna say, I
rebuilt the
don't think I've
Empire
heard of
in
like half
secret
of these
for
people.
300 years, training warriors in hostile jungles on Dromund Kaas and constructing a massive fleet. When he launched a new war against the Republic, his forces brought the galaxy to its knees. Yet even ruling an empire wasn't enough. The video game The Old Republic reveals how Vitiate discovered the Eternal Fleet, an ancient armada of sentient droid ships. He built the Eternal Throne to reactivate and control them, then created a new identity in secret on Zakuul. He became Valkorion, the immortal emperor who built a golden city and ruled a civilization that worshipped him as a living god. As Valkorion, his power exceeded even what he'd achieved as Vitiate. The Eternal Fleet crushed both the Republic and the reconstituted Sith Empire at once, blockading Coruscant and Dromund Kaas within months. He ruled Zakuul for over a century, providing its citizens with comfort while extracting tribute from every conquered world. The city he built rose in gleaming spires above the endless swamp, a monument to his vision of perfection. His subjects knew him as a benevolent ruler who gave them peace and prosperity,
Hey, that
never
doesn't sound so
suspecting
bad.
the dark rituals that sustained his immortality, or the worlds he'd consumed to achieve it. The Eternal Throne took generations to construct and could only be operated by him or his children, the fleet responding to the throne and the throne responding only to Valkorion's bloodline. He had created an empire that could span galaxies, powered by technology that combined ancient Zakuulan engineering with Sith sorcery, controlled through the Force in ways that made conventional warfare obsolete. His ambition extended beyond conquest, as the rituals that sustained him required regular consumption
Don't
of life
worry,
force.
most of my
With each
chat
feeding,
is like
his appetite
so
grew.
it's okay.
He'd lived for over 1,500 years, ruled empires, and consumed worlds, achieving every goal a Sith could imagine. None of it satisfied him. Even if he succeeded and consumed all life as he'd consumed Nathema, nothing would remain. He'd be immortal, but alone, with unlimited power and nothing to use it on. The Sith Emperor, who'd achieved functional immortality and ruled civilizations for over a millennium, had discovered the final truth. Even godhood brought no satisfaction. What the Sith built always consumed them in the end, leaving only the inevitability they'd tried so hard to escape. While these 7 Sith demonstrated the dark side's escalating power, they all operated within a system created by one Sith Lord who tried to solve the basic problem of Sith self-destruction. Darth Bane watched the Sith Empire collapse from infighting
Bane,
and
like
betrayal,
Batman?
then forged the rule of 2 to ensure each generation grew stronger instead of tearing itself apart. His 1,000-year plan created the unbroken lineage connecting every master and apprentice from ancient times to Sidious and Vader, shaping how the Sith survived in secret and manipulated the galaxy from the shadows. To understand Bane's complete story and the tragic price he paid for his vision,
Alright, well, that's it, chat. That's the stream. We did it. Thanks for being here, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic night. I'll see you guys. If you guys are around for Twitch stream tomorrow, that's gonna be around like 6 because I'm cooking dinner. Yeah.